Good morning. It's Wednesday, it's 7:30. So should we start? Yeah. It's today we're reading Gospel of Mark, obviously. That's what we've been doing. And we're in chapter 8. We're still in chapter 8, and we're going from verses 31 all the way into chapter 9, the very first verse of chapter 9. Okay. So it's headed in my Bible. Good morning. It's headed in my Bible. Jesus predicts his death. Jesus now began to teach them something new. There's trouble in store for the Son of Man, he said. The elders, the chief priests, and the scribes are going to reject him. He will be killed, and after 3 days he'll be raised. He said all this quite explicitly. At this, Peter took him aside and started to scold him. But he turned round, saw the disciples, and scolded Peter. Get behind me, accuser, he said. You're thinking human thoughts, not God's thoughts. He called the crowd to him with his disciples. If any of you want to come the way I'm going, he said, you must say no to your own selves, pick up your cross and follow me. Yes, if you want to save your life, you'll lose it. But if you lose your life because of me and the message, you'll save it. After all, what use is it to win the world and lose your life? What can you give in exchange for your life? If you're ashamed of me and my words in this cheating and sinning generation, the Son of Man will be ashamed of you when he comes in the glory of his Father with the holy angels. I'm telling you the truth, he said. Some people standing here won't experience death before they see God's kingdom come in power. Well, that passage is quite a lot to sort of understand there. We're not going to touch on all of it. These are just short things. But the bit that I'm going to take is where Peter hears Jesus say, I'm going to die. And he's basically saying, he's come to fight this fight for the Jews, and he's going to die. So he's going to lose. The Son of Man, the Messiah. Peter just said that he believes that Jesus is the Messiah, and the Messiah can't die. He can't lose this battle. It's just not going to happen. So Peter takes Jesus aside and starts telling him off. And Jesus says to him, "You're thinking human thoughts, not God's thoughts." And I think that's just so relevant today, for Christians, for non-Christians. It's, Peter was just a normal bloke. He was just a fisherman before he started following Jesus. And some of the things that Jesus says, he doesn't make things completely clear. He talks in parables. He tells stories to teach. And here, he's saying, if you want to be with me, you've got to follow me. He just said he's going to die. Are we brave enough to follow him like that? When he just said, I'm going to die, you've got to follow me if you want to believe in me. And I think the church today still is thinking human thoughts, not God's thoughts. Christians think there's a lot of traffic outside today. I don't know if you can hear it. There seems to be a lot of traffic going outside my window just behind the camera. And he's, are we still thinking human thoughts, not God's thoughts? It's when we hear things, we think, oh no, that sounds like hard work, and I'm not too convinced about that. And we all do it. But Jesus says, to follow him, to trust him. He doesn't literally mean you got to follow me to the cross, because none of the disciples at that point, later on possibly, not possibly, but later on they did. But, it's not, it says if you want to save your life, you lose it. It does. Being a Christian's not easy. It's not easy. And there are problems. You do still have problems and doubts, absolutely doubts. Peter spent all his time with Jesus, and he still had doubts. He was just human, and we all do. But I think what Jesus is saying is that we need to be brave and think God's thoughts and trust in Jesus. And when we have doubts, take them to Jesus. take them to Jesus and say, this is what's hard for me. This is what I am struggling with. And he'll help you there. You just reach out to Jesus. And if you do have any doubts or any questions about Jesus, about the Christian faith, drop us a message. We don't have all the answers, absolutely not. I'm not going to say that I have all the answers. I absolutely do not have all the answers, but we can help you. There's a few of us in the team that, we can help you. Message us if you have any doubts, any questions. We'd love to help you in this journey and help you think God's thoughts and not human thoughts. I hope you have a lovely, lovely Wednesday. It's the middle of the week and it's downhill from here to the weekend. And I will see you on Saturday, and you have Wayne with you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.